What's up, guys? Live here in Master Duel. More Duelist Cup action for you guys. Only 4 matchups. Let's get right to it. And with this hand going first, this is the Illusion of Choice. OGLZ plus Naturia Sacred Tree. That means your opponent will be forced to make a choice on how many hand traps they will be wasted to stop this one particular full combo. You will either give me a double search in terms of OGLZ and a Naturia card to search off from Sacred Tree, or you'll just give me a free search of Tree getting a Naturia card. So unless you got Drolin Lock Bird, you're pretty much forced to make a choice. Straight up muskets. So Bell Star, aka Starfire, Steady Hands, for the sake of E-telling a level 4 or lower musket monster. Bell Star for Cast Bar, glossed out by the way. Time Tearing under Cast Bar. So it is Pot of Greed, no monster effects from the hand, when muskets can legit use their spells and traps from the hand to be specific, as long as they're not negated, of course. And then double summon. So muskets should be a-okay with this card. Desperado and 2 set. OGLZ, send a tree, summon herself, Girusia, Sacred Tree for Blessing, Rusia, free special, Synchro into Silvera just to completely shut off. Okay, never mind. In this position, if I was to do Naturia Blessing, for which, by the way, Droplet under Cast Bar, so that's free search. Droplet for 1 means you either pick Mole Cricket just so that there's no E-telly for me, or you pick Silvera just to make sure that not only your musket won't get eclipsed, but my cricket will be able to make a clean getaway for free E-telly for 2 Naturia on that same combo lines. Went with the second choice of picking Silvera. Caspar, Chainmail Cricket, Melia, Vayne, and given the fact that musket spells and traps straight from hand, that pretty much meant that Naturia Vayne, not Sunflower, is the correct call for that matter. So most cases, Caspar getting Cross Dom, Melia, toss out Sunflower, Tribute Vayne for Bamboo Shoot, and muskets can no longer use their musket spells and traps straight from hand. Simplified game state. Time Tearing, draw to 2. First, real normal was Cast Bar. When it comes to magical muskets, specifically in the opposite side of the spectrum, do not let Max resolve. Ever. Because if it does, you're cooked. one level 8 or lower musket monster to mate this guy. And of course, for someone who once played the deck, muskets in general is beyond crap. So basically any of these guys and or girls from the main deck to make Max, and first chance Max gets Link Shoken, activate one of the following effects, but hard ones. Based on the number of monsters your opponent controls, that will be mine, you get to add magical musket spells and traps with different names from your deck to your hand. But the problem is, the tribute summoned Bamboo Shoot exists. That pretty much meant the spells and traps are super dead. However, when it comes to opponent's back row, based on the number of spell/traps your opponent controls, field spell included, that's how many muskets with different names you get to special summon straight from the deck. So most cases, I only got one. That would be E-Telly for one musket. So if I was to let Max go, it's either E-Telly for one musket or search 2 musket spells and traps. Mole Cricket Combat, Chalice to Max, because we don't want the king to cook. And given the fact that muskets are meant to use their spells and traps, I understand why they had to scoop up super early, but you still could have gone straight into the Fiend Smith lines at the very least and clear out Bamboo Shoot via Engraver effect, so no issue there. And with this hand going first, either lines should work just fine. LZ Azamina freeze summon herself. That is not what Imperm does. Simplified game state. Rusia sending apes to draw one, reset button to apes, from White Forest to Trap Tricks. Before getting yourself locked into the restriction of no special from extra for the rest of this turn except insect or plants, make sure you have any/every other lines as possible you can think of. Arachnocampo used, so locked out of the extra except the 2 types. So, in this position turn 1, so let's say theoretically, if your opponent plays something like Fiendsmith Trat, if they were to discard Fable Lurie, because that turn player, they go chain 1 Lurie, chain 2 Pinguicula, just so that if a monster gets owned by your opponent, is sent to the graveyard or banished by a card effect outside of the damage step, she is +1 material. So you basically got that covered, and you also got the reset button of a whole normal trap in terms of controlling Caleria. No set card of yours gets killed once, so they had to kill it twice. And then Diabel the Reactive Witch here is where when your opponent activates something, this is where you either get Rusia for another search on their turn, Silvera to Boogie Eclipse, or Zapper Shrimp to send another card to spot removal a spell trap your opponent controls. And on your opponent's turn as well, you also got LZ to recur, Holatea with an empty slot to reborn any trap tricks in general, and you also got the main deck White Force level 4s to recycle the synchros on their turn as well for the same concept of grabbing back OGLZ. Susurus to reborn any spellcaster and or illusion from grave or banish after kicking one back. Floodgate to book Azamina Apes to compulse based on a number of illusion and or synchros. So if we can somehow get up to 2 to 3 bonus buffs. And then Chalice, it's just Chalice. And this was all started by LZ Azamina, free special herself, and the real normal summon is Sylvie. Wowzers. Raigeki, Diabel, Sensusurus, Forusia, Tratrix Crew goes, sending Time Space, LZ, Susurus, Cyber Jormungandr. What the heck? Just a one? Let me see. Special summon this, then take one Cyber Dragon and either special it or equip it. Oh, okay. So whatever is the last thing to special summon and not at the same time. Okay, great to know as a heads up on that ruling. So there we go. Real normal decor, Chalice, Contact for Fortress, Rev System, Reborn Cyber Dragon, Attack Ursula, Ace, Kickback, Fortress and Susurus, Holatea, Reborn Penguicula, and depends on that one last card in hand, Simplified Game State. In this position of having Sunflower on the field, if the opponent were to have Nib, this is where Sunflower will keep Nib in check. And with his hand going first off, that's 60. Second of all, this is way beyond full combo. OGLZ, sending Time Space, getting Sylvie, real normal Sylvie, getting Witch, activated, LZ Azamina, free summon herself, Ursula, sending Field Spell, getting Rusia, LZ Azamina for Susurus, Diabel, getting Time Space. I legit could have done more in terms of the Sacred Tree line twice, but I was legit afraid in this composition where Ashing the Mole Cricket could hurt that route. So I figured, nah, let's wait until we get things through and through, waiting on Ash and so forth. Sylvie, return Ursula. Rusia, free special. No sending something for the free draw one, but Traptrix lines to work with now. And of course, with Arachnocampa up, we got to make sure that no restrictions are coming out so far. Well, technically, the Dark Lock, we don't care about that because the whole entire extra deck full of attributes based off from this are literally nothing but light and earth, so no issue. Blessing for Cricket. Cricket Tribute for Camellia. Okay, so that passes the Ash check. Reborn Cricket. Beast. We will not trigger Cricket in this position because we need to leave more room for other monsters. Arachnocampa. And Sarah said Holotea. Dianea to recover time space. Elamiris, bridging back to Naturia, Teleria, and Pinguicula. And in this composition, unlimited spell negate, reactive response to your opponent. This is where Diabelle is going to have either any of the 3 tuner synchros, but the thing is, obviously, no room, so we're gonna wait and see what's up. And then, again, +1 material if a monster gets sent to the grave or banished by a card effect. Caleria is going to reset button after using a whole normal trap. Susurus to recover from grave or banish in terms of an illusion or spellcaster after one gets bounced. You have to kill the set cards twice. Cosmic to spell trap spot removal once. And then your level 4 White Forest girls being Rusia, return to Diabelle to summon herself, OGLZ grab back, and Holotea to banish, reborn any Traptrix monster from grave. So this deck, in terms of unique combinations, let alone going first uninterrupted, what could you do about it? Should all fuse? So Shadalls, Beast, milling Holotea and Imperm, Albaz, discarding Flame, so branded Shadal, Dracotail. And based off from Albaz's fusion summoning, it's either A, Mirror Jade, because, you know, extra deck piece, or B, Albion Branded Dragon, for the sake of using a light monster, or C, it could be either Rinbrum or Brigand, if I recall one of the two correctly. So let me see what's up with the actual guys. Rinbrum takes a Beast, Beast Warrior, and or Wing Beast. So it could be Rinbrum if using Beast. And if for whatever the reason, Rinbrum were to hit the field, that would mean when a Fusion, Synchro, Exi, or Link monster's effect is activated as a quick effect, you can negate that effect. Then you can does not target, return one monster anywhere from the field to the hand, which is nuts. And then Brigand, level 8 or higher monster, being Diabelle. So the theory behind the Brigand, to be specific, is where can't be killed by battle, and while you control this fusion summon card, your opponent cannot target other monsters within card effects. So targeting protection to everything. It could also be Titanic clad as well, given the fact that if my opponent were to use 2500 attack monsters or higher, that pretty much meant that Titanic clad's attack boosting in terms of original levels times 100, which is a little too nuts. So let's see what's up with those possible candidates. Mirror Jade, Melia, Pinguicula, Mirror Jade, Toss Out Renbrum, Time Space, go back, pay 1,000, reset button, Pinguicula banished, bring back Beast from Camellia, Rahu, Beast, Horn Needle, Feather Duster, negate destroy, Branded Fuse, Beast, Mole Cricket, OGLZ Mild, negate destroy, and pass. Renbrum for Albaz, discard Malulu, Diabell, get rid of Cosmic because it does nothing. Albion branded this time because light. Ursula, Albion, the same Mirror Jade. Same Mirror Jade. Ursula getting Sylvie. Susurus, Mirror Jade, toss out Titaniclad, banish Claria, reset, Sylvie, return Diabell, summon, Geonator Transverser, creature swapping between the two, real normal Sylvie, getting apes, Vesiculo, sending the set apes to summon, reset, so that's a free summon. Return the Diabell. Titaniclad for Quem. Quem, toss out Albion Shrouded. Camellia for Horn Needle this time because we already got Beast. Albion Shrouded. Toss out Retribution. Sarnier. Retribution. Grab back Branded Fuse. Banish Ozette. Summon the Sornier. Draco Berserker. Time Space Shoot back. Ace kick back the Sornier. And pass. In this position, if my opponent were to Bestial Sornier, that pretty much meant that Horn Needle would have milled to get on out Sornier. Sornier would end up foolishing something. But the thing is, to be specific, if Sornier would have summoned in the middle monster zone, Sornier would not die because of Geonator. So the case would have been ram over OTK style. And last but certainly not least, with his hand, kind of awkward. So, set 3 and pass. Set 5 and pass. Oh boy. Holotea. Apophis. So, Trap Monster on Trap Monster. Real Normal. Rusia. Dimensional Barrier, rip in TCG from the emergency ban list from YCS Anaheim. The realest reason that this card ended up seeing a lot more play is because A, thrust target, and B, if anyone has ever watched the YCS Anaheim, the whole entire streamline that day, it was so bad they had to emergency ban one of those cards, the barrier being one of them, because one-sided shutting off games and so forth. But otherwise, like, technically it applies to both players, but when it comes to the aspects of extra deck lockouts, obviously not counting links because it does not mention on it, but at the same time, calling on synchro means you got ways to play around the barrier. You got your links and XZ to back you up. But if called XZ, in theory, because, you know, 2 level 4s, so in most cases, if called XZ, to make sure I cannot go to my XZ summon route, that means I can go straight into Diabell right this minute. Calling on Synchro, Rusia, send Blessing because we're Synchro locked. XZ into Pinguicula, Solemn Warning, and 1 set. Apophis, let it happen. 2 6s? There's no way. They're both 6s? For Goblin's Crazy Beast, that's clean. Rank 6 Dark Fiend for some reason, and not a beast given the fact that, you know, beast in the name. 2700 attack, no defense. That takes 2 or more level 6 monsters in general to make it so generic. Rank 6, awesome. Once per turn, as a quick effect, you can target 1 spell trap anywhere on the field, detach 2 at the same time, and if you do, plus 1 material to this card. Nice. So basically, when it comes to performing an XZ summon originally, the more materials, the more absorption. If a monster's more than 1, self-included, you control will be killed by a card effect to be specific, detach 1. So built-in saving grace, just like Dingirsu. And if for some reason this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this, then you can, optional, plus 1 goblin monster from your graveyard to this as material. Talk about undead crazy beast, alright. And this effect about the undead crazy beast, once per duel, aka 1 time only. Crazy beast, target woes. Oh, hello? Ah, detaches for effect and not cost. Okay, good to know as a heads up about that ruling. Detaches for effect. Woes for Sylvie. Detach 2, plus 1. Sylvie for Witch. Real Normal. Ether Barrel. Chalice it. And its simplified game state. Witch for OGLZ. Cosmic. Hitting Imperm. Depends on that one last set, simplified game state. Turns out the set was Prey of the Jirai Gumo, so it's Trap Monster as a normal monster, Earth Inset, level 5, 2100 attack, 100 defense. So your main monster zone in its same column, still treated as a trap, so trap monster. Then you can, optional, kill one monster your opponent controls in this card's column. So basically, it's only there for ambush tactics. And it is OTK City, and when it comes to Duelist Cup level up, no dropping below level 17 at the time this video goes up. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hit that notification bell to keep yourself constantly updated. And if you are a brand new player or a returning Master Duel player, be sure to use my campaign code in the description below so we can gather this year's campaign prizes. I thank you guys for tuning in and catch you all next time.